There's a very strong chance that you are consuming sugar alcohols on a daily basis without even knowing it. Today I'm going to talk about sugar alcohols and specifically 9 things you did not know about sugar alcohols. I did a video recently about gut issues. Basically, it was targeted to people with gut issues that are with unknown reasons, and in that video I spoke about how sugar alcohols may be responsible for the cramping and abdominal pain and gas and bloating that a lot of people are experiencing and going through different tests for with the gastroenterologist, etc., without finding a diagnosis, taking a medicine and not getting much relief. But sugar alcohols, like I said, they are becoming more and more popular. They are in more and more things, and there's a lot that is not known or realized by many people who are consuming these things unknowingly. So that's what we're going to talk about today, sugar alcohols. Before we get into it, I'm Dr. Amina Goodwin, a physician and a health coach, and I help you get your blood sugar levels down to normal where they belong without taking more medicine. Why get normal blood sugar levels? Well, so that you can have great energy throughout the entire day, so that you can control your food cravings, and that helps you to manage your weight or prevent weight gain, especially as you grow older, and then so that you can have an overall longer, healthier life. All right, sugar alcohols, more and more popular, projected to become even more popular as time goes by. They are found in almost everything from pharmaceutical medicines to diabetic friendly foods to a host of desserts, to drinks, so many things, right? And a lot of people don't really know much about sugar alcohols. I'm going to tell you 9 things that you probably didn't know about them, and then at the end of this video I'm going to give you my opinion on sugar alcohols, whether or not I think they're good or bad. Let's get straight into it. So first thing is that sugar alcohols are not alcoholic. So as much as the name is sugar alcohol, it's because that it's sugar alcohol because part of the chemical structure kind of looks like carbohydrates or sugars, and part of the chemical structure looks like alcohol, right? OH, right? And so because it has that chemical appearance of alcohol and sugar together, it is called a sugar alcohol. But it's not alcoholic at all. It does not cause you to be tipsy or anything like that. OL tends to be the last 2 letters at the end of all sugar alcohols: xylitol, maltitol, sorbitol, erythritol. Right? One sugar alcohol does not have OL, and that's isomalt. But generally, if you see OL at the end of a number, a name or word, then probably on a food label it's a sugar alcohol. All right. Second point that you probably didn't know is that sugar alcohols are not low calorie. So they tend to be marketed as low calorie, and sometimes maybe there might be a suggestion on food labels that it's like a no calorie food, right? 0 calorie. But certainly a lot of marketing about low calorie. They're not necessarily low calorie. Now, different sugar alcohols have different caloric qualities. Something that has 0 or no calories is something that just does not get absorbed. Okay, so so aspartame and those artificial sweeteners, they do not get absorbed across the gut wall, and for that reason they cannot add calories to the system. And sugar alcohols generally are poorly digested, poorly broken down, and therefore if it's not broken down, it stays within the intestines and gets passed out instead of going across into the bloodstream and adding to energy of the body. Okay, so that's why but the thing about it, why I'm saying that they're not necessarily low calories, that different sugar alcohols are broken down to different degrees. Erythritol might be the least broken down of them all, xylitol as well. Maltitol is definitely broken down. It actually has a relatively high glycemic index compared to like normal foods. I mean, it varies because this glycemic index essentially is a measure of how much a certain item increases blood sugar levels, and maltitol specifically can increase blood sugar levels dramatically. I remember having a patient with this problem. He was binging on Hershey's chocolates and thinking, rightly so, I don't blame him, that it was diabetic friendly because that's how it was labeled. But lo and behold, his body was breaking down the maltitol. He was absorbing it, and so what we noticed was that his blood sugar levels were in the high 200s. Every night, basically, because he was eating these chocolates every night. He was eating 5, 6 at a time and more because they were so tasty. So he was definitely getting caloric benefit, and it varies depending on your body and how well you can break down these foods. So don't assume that it's low caloric. In fact, I have some examples here. Sugar like regular sucrose, table sugar, would have about 4 calories per gram. Sorbitol and maltitol may have about 2 calories per gram, so half the energy benefit of regular table sugar. Third point about which is I kind of went ahead of myself. But the third point I was going to have here about sugar alcohols is that they are not necessarily diabetes friendly. And like I said, with this patient of mine who was having sky high sugars every single night, and only when I happened to see the Hershey's chocolate bars at his bedside that his daughter brought for him, thinking that, you know, they're diabetes friendly and so I can buy them, you know, so they're not necessarily diabetes friendly. No, one little mini Hershey's bar could be okay, but the fact is these things, apart from having an alternate sweetener, they are literally designed to be addictive. And so you are basically tricking someone into thinking this is fine, it's friendly, but knowing fully well that they are going to eat more than one serving, they're going to eat several servings, okay? So beware, they're not necessarily diabetes friendly unless you can totally control yourself and have one piece or less than a piece, okay? Fourth point about sugar alcohols is that they are in a lot of pharmaceuticals. So cold medicines, cold cough, flu medicines, famous for having sugar alcohols. If you look at the label, you see sorbitol in a lot of these cold medicines. If you have runny nose, stuffy nose, cough and so on, they almost always have sorbitol or some other sugar alcohol, okay? Bearing in mind that, you know, everybody's getting a little more alert to sugar and added sugar and so on, and so the companies are realizing that people are onto this sugar thing and they're deciding, okay, let's switch out sugar and instead put sugar alcohols, okay? There's a lot of pharmaceuticals, gummy, vitamins, chewable medications, laxatives as well, so beware that, right? Fourth point about sugar alcohols, or is this the fifth point? Fifth point, they can actually cause weight gain, and this kind of leads into the fact that people might feel you know, comfortable having them, feeling that, okay, maybe it won't care about blood sugar, but what happens is that you end up overeating whatever the food is because of the false sense of security that this is a low calorie food or low sugar, low added sugar food, and so you end up just eating more, and so that overrides the fact that this is a potentially low glycemic index sweetener or low calorie food. You eat too much and you will gain weight. And the same man with the Hershey's, he was actually quite overweight. So, you know, he had been consuming these things over a period of time and, you know, had the weight problem. Sixth point is with this sugar alcohols, it's actually not artificial. It's not an artificial sweetener. So aspartame, sucralose, asulfame, those are artificial sweeteners. But fortunately, sugar alcohols are not artificial. They're actually found naturally in some fruits, in some vegetables, so not artificial. Of course, the factories, you know, concentrate them and, you know, do things to extract them from the naturally occurring fruits and vegetables, but generally speaking, it's not a man-made sugar, so that's actually a good thing. Seventh point is that sugar alcohols, this is an interesting point. They actually do not contribute to rotten teeth. They don't cause dental caries, and this is because the bacteria in the mouth cannot feed on these sugar alcohols, so that's actually a good thing. And in some articles you might see claims that maybe sugar alcohols can help prevent cavities. I wouldn't go so far, like I wouldn't take sugar alcohol just to prevent cavities, but generally they don't contribute to cavities. In fact, sugar alcohols are found in mouthwashes, so that's actually an interesting point. Eighth point is that sugar alcohols, they're only partially digested. So again, I alluded to this earlier, only partial digestion. Some did digest it more than others. Because they are only partially digested, it means that they stay within the gut. They stay within the gut, and the bacteria in the intestines works on them, nibbles on them, whatever. And in that process of the bacteria working on them and of these sugar alcohols fermenting, there's a lot of gas that's produced. And this gas is what contributes to the bloating that a lot of people experience with these sugar alcohols, and the cramping and the pain and the flatulence and even diarrhea like my patients have. You can have pretty severe diarrhea. Everybody will have a different effect because everybody has a different makeup of their microbiome, of their mix of bacteria in their intestines. So it's definitely going to be individualized. And also, like I alluded to, maltitol would probably be much easier broken down compared to something like xylitol or maybe erythritol, okay? So test the different ones for yourself. And then the ninth point about this is that these sugar alcohols are in way more foods than you may realize. There are a lot of candies. They're in chewing gum, even candies that your children might have. I've seen them in candy that my son has brought home from school. They're in cakes, pastries, they're even in ice creams, they're in drinks, okay? These sugar alcohols are even in some of the fruit, the other natural sweeteners that you might think, oh, these are totally fine. You will find sugar alcohols mixed with monk fruit, mixed with stevia, right? There's a popular brand of these two plant-based sweeteners, stevia and monk fruit, that actually is mixed. So basically they dilute stevia, they dilute monk fruit with erythritol commonly, okay, because clearly erythritol must be cheaper than monk fruit and or stevia. So the sad thing about these labels too, or actually these packages of stevia and monk fruit, is that they will say in big at the front stevia or monk fruit, but when you flip it to the back, the first ingredient is actually erythritol and then the second ingredient is stevia or monk fruit. So very dishonest to say the least, because you think you're buying one thing and you're getting more of the other. Okay, so that's why I'm saying that these sugar alcohols are in way more foods than you realize, and you will only know if you flip the label and look at the ingredient list. Now, okay, sugar alcohols, they're in so many things. Should you be that concerned? I mean, are they bad? You know, I don't think sugar alcohols are bad, but I think if you have them in excess, you can suffer certain side effects, discomforts, especially the gut-related discomfort. The thing I like about sugar alcohols is that they don't tend to have that aftertaste that the other sweeteners have, particularly artificial sweeteners, aspartame, sulfame, and they definitely don't have the aftertaste that monk fruit and stevia have. I don't like monk fruit and stevia for the reason of their aftertaste. Different people can tolerate different tastes, but the sugar alcohols tend to have a more natural, not lingering taste, and that's what I personally like about them, right? So, you know, it's your choice. Everybody reacts differently, but if you find that you are having gut issues, cramping, bloating, especially within an hour to half an hour to an hour after eating food, start looking at the ingredients and corroborating what it is you're eating with these GI or gastrointestinal side effects, and you might just find a link with sugar alcohols. As with anything, moderation. Even water can be poisonous if taken in excess. So sugar alcohols, I think they're okay, but not in excess. And don't fall for a false sense of security and thinking, okay, low calorie, low sugar, or low glycemic index, I'm going to just have, you know, unlimited amounts. No. Small amounts okay, but larger amounts probably not okay. I hope you all found this video helpful in terms of the potential adverse or side effects of sugar alcohols, and also just unknown facts about sugar alcohol. Share with somebody who you think might benefit from this, and thanks for watching. I will see you on the next video.